Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss about the compensation techniques of control system. Okay. So actually what is compensation and what is the requirement of this compensation technique in control system. Okay. So the compensation, sometimes it is necessary to compensate an unstable system to make it stable, okay, or to improve the existing system to satisfy the required specification. So that is why compensation is required in control system to make the unstable system um, to stable one, or to meet the required specification of a particular existing system. We are introducing the compensation in control system. Okay. So introduction of poles and zeros at suitable place will gives you the satisfactory performance. This is the one point. Another point is that the main requirement of control system is accuracy and stability. Okay. For accuracy, the ESS or the steady state error should be small. For this purpose, we need to increase the gain of the system. As we increase the gain of the system, it will result increase in the overshoot. Okay, as the overshoot will increase, then it will result the instability of the system. But we need both accuracy and stability of control system. So to rectify this problem, an additional circuit is connected in between the error detector and the plant, is known as the compensation or compensator circuit. Okay. Now go through the compensator block diagram with the existing control system. Okay. If we draw a block diagram, here this is R of S of a control system, and this part is known as the error detector. Between this error detector, the compensator circuit, and here the existing control system is present over here. Okay. This is the feedback, or simply we can represent it by an unity feedback system. Okay. The symbols plus, minus, this is the compensator circuit which is placed in between the error detector and the plant. Okay. And this is the existing control system G of S, and this one is the H of S. Here we having the output C of S. So simply this is the representation of a compensator circuit, or the compensator with the existing control system. Okay. So this is the compensator circuit. This one is known as the error detector. This is the previous system or the blunt circuit, where the compensator circuit is connected in between the error detector and the plant. Now consider a transfer function. Consider a transfer function given G of S. Consider a transfer function that is given G of S is equal to K upon S into S plus 1, S into S plus 1 into S plus 2. Okay. So as we know, clearly understand that it is a type 1 system. Okay. So here the velocity error constant, okay, to steady state error should be 10 to the power minus per second. So note down, it is required that velocity error constant or KV corresponding to steady state error, corresponding to steady state error, steady state error or ESS, should be 10 to the power minus 10 second. Okay, so as we know that for type 0 system, ESS is, or the positional error constant is over there, and for type 1 system, velocity error constant, and for type 2 system, acceleration error constant is present over there. So this is a type 1 system, and we are considering the kV, which is corresponding to the steady state error of the system, and it should be 10 to the power inverse 1 second or 1 by 10 second. Okay, now so we know that the velocity error constant, that is k of v, is equal to limit s tends to 0 s into g of s. We know this thing. Now so kv, now just replace the value of g of s, limit s tends to 0 is equal to s into k upon s into s into s plus 1 into s plus 2. S gets cancelled. Now put the value of s is equal to 0, then this expression become is equal to 0, 1 into 2, so k upon 2. So kv is equal to k upon 2, and the value of kv we are considering as 10. So k is equal to 2 into 10, that is equal to 20 from this expression. So therefore for accuracy, as we know that the steady state error is related to the accuracy of the system, so we can clearly observe from this expression that the accuracy of the system should be k equal to 20, or for the accuracy of the system, the value of k should be is equal to k equal to 20. Therefore for accuracy k should be is equal to 20. Okay, now if we are considering, this is equation number 1, so we know the value of k, so equation 1 become, becomes g of s is equal to 20 upon s into s plus 1 into s plus 2. We have already determined the value of k. Now so the characteristics equation of this open loop transfer function will become, characteristics equation will be 1 plus g of s into h of s, that is equal to 0. Now if we putting the value of g of s and h of s is equal to 1, and g of s value is 20 upon s into s plus 1 into s plus 2, so this equation become, now just put the value, so 1 plus 20 divided by s into s plus 1 into s plus 2, that is equal to 0, and value of h of s is equal to 1. Now if we simplify this expression, then the value of the value of the characteristics equation, or after simplification of this equation, the characteristics equation become s of q plus 3s of square plus 2s plus k is equal to 0. Okay, if we considering this thing as k. Okay, so previous one for the accuracy and this one for the stability checking of the system. So 2 of s plus k is equal to 0, characteristics equation of this thing. Now as we got the characteristics equation, now we can check the stability of this system. How we can check the stability of this system? By RH criteria. So apply RH criteria, RH or Routh-Array criteria. So if we apply the Routh-Array criteria, this will look like S of q is equal to S of square S power 1 into S power 0, and coefficient of S of q, that is equal to 1 after 1, that is 2, then S of square 3, then k, 3, then k. So in place of S plus S power 1, that is 3 into 2 minus k into 1 divided by 3. So 3 into 2, that is 6 minus k into 1, k divided by 3, and for this that will become 0, and for here that is k. Now from RH criteria we all can make the comment about stability of the system, that for stable system 6 minus k upon 3, it should be greater than 0, or 6 minus k, that will be greater than 0, or 6 less than equal to k, or k less than equal to 6. Okay, so for stability of the, or for a stable system, the value of k should be less than 6. Okay, so from these two derivation of accuracy and stability, we can clearly observe that the value of k, it is different. For accuracy of the system, the value of k we have determined, that is equal to 20, and for stability it should be less than k. Okay, so from this we can make a comment that sometime accuracy and stability could not be at could not meet the same time, and not met at the same time, so the compensating system is used. We can clearly observe that accuracy and stability is not matching or meeting at the same time, because for stability value of k should be less than 6, and for accuracy it should be k, the value of k is equal to 1. So sorry, k is equal to 20. So it is clear that the stability and accuracy of the system will not meet at the same time. So here we can make a comment that the compensation can be used. Okay. Now, so this is the complete explanation of the compensation technique. Okay, how we can achieve the accuracy and the stability of the system through the compensation technique. Now, the type of compensation. So, compensation or type of compensation. Types of compensation. So, first thing is, that is series compensation. Generally, three types of compensation are used. First one is the series compensation. Now, what is series compensation? When compensating network is inserted in the forward path then this is known as the series or cascade compensation. Okay, so note down, when compensation network is inserted in the forward path, is known as series or cascade. Series or cascade compensation. Series or cascade compensation. Now, what will be the diagram of this series or cascade compensation will look like? This is the forward path. This will be the series or cascade compensation. That is R of S. Okay, and this is output. That is C of S. This is C of S. Compensating network. This is compensating network, and this is the fixed element or the existing control system. So this is the example of cascade or series compensation when the compensating network is connected in the forward path of the system. Okay, now the second one is the feedback compensation. Second one is feedback compensation. So what is feedback compensation? When compensation is inserted in the feedback path of the system is known as the feedback compensation. When compensation is inserted in the feedback path of the system is known as feedback compensation. Now how the circuit diagram will look like? Okay, how the circuit diagram of this feedback compensation will look like? So this will be the fixed element. This is the compensating network. So this is the block representation of feedback compensation. It is inserted in the feedback path of the system. Now the last one, that is the load compensation. Load compensation. So load compensation is nothing but it is the combination of series and feedback compensation. It is the combination of combination of series and feedback compensation. Okay, so what how the circuit diagram of this thing will look like. So for this, here one compensation circuit will be represented over here, then again one summing point is over there, then this is the fixed element or the existing system, and here one more compensation circuit is or compensator network is represented. That is R of S or the input, this is output C of S, this is compensating network. This will also compensating network. And this thing is the fixed element. So the load compensation circuit or block diagram will look like this. Two compensator network, that is the combination of series. This one is representing the series compensation and this one representing the feedback compensation, and combination of this is known as the load compensation. Okay, now how many type of or the compensation is generally used. Okay, so type of compensation, we have discussed that 3 types of compensation are generally used, but the compensator may be, it may be either electrical, mechanical, pneumatic or hydraulic type. So the compensator may be mechanical, electrical, hydraulic or pneumatic type. So this type of compensator are used in case of control system. Okay, now along of this type, the electrical is or the electrical type network is used widely. So mostly electrical network is used. Why? Because it is easy to design the RC filter. Because it is easy to design RC filter. Okay. So the simplest compensator network will be, it may be phase lead type. So simplest compensator network are phase lead, phase lag and phase lag lead type. Okay, So this type of compensators are generally used in electrical networks. Okay. Now we are going to concentrate on the phase lead network or phase lead compensator. Okay. So make a headline that phase lead compensator. Phase lead compensator. Okay. So phase lead compensator, we need to draw the circuit diagram. The circuit diagram look like R, here C. Okay. Here also R. Okay. So this is the representation of phase lead network. Here the input voltage, that is we are considering as E of 1. Okay. Now this one is R, this is C, or simply this one is R of 2. Okay. Now the current following through the circuit, that is I, this one is we are considering I1, this is as I2, and through this branch this is I of 3. Okay. And the output voltage at the R2 terminal we are marking as E of 2. Okay. So this is the circuit representation of the phase lead compensator. Okay. Now so from this circuit diagram we can clearly observe that I, or the circuit current for circuit diagram, I, that is equal to I1 plus I of 2. Okay. And expression of I1 is nothing but the potential difference at these 2 points divided by R. So expression of I1 can be written as E1 minus E2 divided by R, or this one is R1, no, this is R2, so this one should be R1. So E1 minus E2 by R of 1. And similarly for I2 it is nothing but the voltage drop. So expression of I2 is equal to C into d of dt, C into d of dt into E1 minus E of 2. So we got the expression of two current following through the RC branch, R1 and C branch. Okay. So as we got the value of these two current, now we can replace the value in this expression of I. So this equation become I, that is equal to E1 minus E2 by R1, E1 minus E2 by R1 plus C into d by d of t into E1 minus E of 2. So we got this type of expression. Now mark this one as equation number 1. Okay. And from the circuit diagram we also can observe that I of 3, or the current following through the R2 branch is equal to I, and expression of this thing will be E2 by R of 2. Okay. In respect to the R3 branch we got the expression of this. So this is equation number 2. Now So we got this type of expression. Okay, now put the value of equation number 2 or value of I in equation number 1. Put value of I from equation number 2 in equation number 1. Okay, value of I from equation number 2 in equation number 1. So we got, that is I is equal to E2 by R2. I is equal to E2 by R2 is equal to E1 minus E2 by R1 plus C into d of dt by E2, sorry, by E1 minus E2. E1 minus E2. We got this type of expression after putting the value of I in equation number 1. Now take Laplace for both sides of this equation and consider this equation as equation number 3. Now take Laplace of the above equation. So if we are taking the Laplace of this above equation, then this equation become 1 by R2 into E2 of S is equal to 1 by R1 into E1 of S minus E2 of S plus, for d by dt we got one S, so S into C into E1 of S into E1 of S minus E2 of S. After taking the Laplace transformation, we got this type of expression. Okay, now so from this expression we also can simplify the above equation like this: E2 by E1. Okay, we are taking common from this expression on the right hand side, E1. So we got the E1 by, or after simplification, E2 by S by E1 by S, we got, that is R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into 1 plus R1 into 1 plus R1 C into S, okay, divided by 1 plus R1 R2, 1 plus R1 into R2 into C into S, whole divided by R1 plus R2. We got this type of expression. Okay, so this is we are considering as equation number 4. After simplification of the above equation, we got this type of expression. Now we are considering some values for this parameter and this parameter. We are considering R1 plus R2. So consider R1 plus R2 divided by R1, that is equal to A, and A is always greater than 1. Okay, we are considering this, and R1 into R2 into C, we are considering also considered this thing as so T, that is equal to R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into C for this term. Okay, so as this term we are considering like this. So the above equation will become, or we can write the above equation. So I am rubbing this. So from equation number 5 we can write like this. From equation number 5 we can write like E2s by E1s, E2s by E of 1 of s is equal to R2 by R of 1 plus R2 into 1 plus R1 plus R1 plus R2 by R2 into R1 R2 into C, R1 R2 into C divided by R1 plus R of 2 into S whole divided by 1 plus R1 R2 into C into S divided by R1 plus R2. So after simplifying the equation number 5, we got the expression as like this. Now we are putting the value of R1 plus R2 is equal to R1 plus R2 divided by R2 is equal to A. So this parameter, just look right like this, E2s by E1s is equal to 1 upon A. So we are considering the reciprocal of this parameter as A. So A into 1 plus, we are also again this thing we are considering as A. So this is A into this thing we are considered as T. So A T into S divided by the lower one or the denominator 1 plus this term up to this term we are considering T. So T into S. This is equation number 6. Okay. Now so for phase lead network we got this type of expression, E2 upon E2s by E1s is equal to 1 upon A into 1 plus A into T of S divided by 1 plus T of S. Now the steady state performance and transient performance of the transfer functions are governed by the low frequency and high frequency characteristics respectively. Okay, for simultaneous satisfaction of transient and steady state performance, the Bordet plot must be reshaped so that the high frequency portion of the plot satisfy the phase margin requirement and low frequency portion will satisfy the kV requirement. The kV is the velocity error constant. Okay. So till now we can clearly observe that. Now how the compensation network of the existing system will plotted in the Bordet plot as steady state performance and transfer function of the governed by the low frequency and high frequency. So ESS or steady state performance and transient performance are governed by low and high frequency respectively. Okay. So what will change the Bordet plot if we are going to insert the compensation network to the system? So for existing system we have already one Bordet plot, and if we introduced a compensation circuit to the existing system which Bordet plot we have already drawn, then what will be the changes for after adding this compensation network? Okay, so the Bordet plot must be reshaped. So Bode plot of the system must be reshaped, must be reshaped must be reshaped so that high frequency portion of the plot, so that high frequency portion of the plot satisfy the phase margin required, satisfy the phase margin requirement, the phase margin requirement. Okay, and low frequency portion will satisfy the KV requirement, satisfy the KV requirement. Okay, so from this we can clearly understand how the changes will occur in the Bode plot. Now the calculation of phase margin and the natural frequency or the omega of m. Now the next topics we will discuss the calculation of phi of m and omega of m. Calculation of phi of m and omega of m. Okay. So for calculation purpose of phase margin and the phase crossover, this is the gain crossover frequency, because at that particular frequency we are getting the phase margin. So for calculation of this thing we need to require the equation number 6. So from equation number 6, that is look like E2 of s by E1 of s. E1 of s is equal to 1 upon a into 1 plus a into s into t divided by 1 plus s into t. This type of expression we got, s into t. So further this expression can be written as that is a into e of 2 s into E1 of s, okay, 1 plus a into t into s divided by 1 plus t into s. This type of expression. Now if we are going to derive the expression for phase angle, so the phase angle will, or expression of phase angle will be the argument of this. So phi, that is equal to argument of a into E2 of s divided by E1 of s is equal to, for the above one it is plus tan inverse b by a. So tan inverse a into t by a into t by 1. Now just replace the value of s by j of omega. So here mark one thing, put s is equal to j of omega. So after putting, just this will become j of omega and this will also become j of omega. So expression of phase angle for the numerator part, that is tan of, or tan inverse of a into t into omega, minus for the denominator part which is representing the pole, that is tan inverse t into omega. So this is the expression of phase angle. Okay. Now we got this type of expression. Now take tan in both sides. So take tan on both sides. Tan on both sides, we get tan of phi is equal to tan inverse A into T into omega minus tan inverse T into omega. Okay, so we got this type of expression. Now simplify this is, so this expression will be become, that is tan A minus tan B is equal to tan A tan B, sorry, tan A minus tan B divided by 1 plus tan A tan B. Okay, so tan of phi, tan gets cancelled, and this thing will become A tan of A minus tan of B. So A T into omega minus T of omega divided by 1 plus A into T into omega into T into omega. We got this type of expression, or simplified way we can write like this. So from above one, or the numerator part, we can take common, that is T of omega is equal to A minus 1, sorry, T of omega into A minus 1 from the numerator part, and for denominator part it just simply become the 1 plus A into T of square into omega of square, like this. Now for maximum value of phi, d of phi upon, or differentiation of this equation will become or equal to 0. So note down, for maximum value of phi, for max value of phi, this will be d of phi upon d of omega, that should be is equal to 0. Now if we are differentiating the above equation with respect to omega, then we got the simplified version, or the value of omega of m, that is equal to 1 by T root A. Okay. Therefore, for maximum phase lead occur at frequency omega is equal to, okay, so this differentiation we are getting, or doing for the getting the maximum value of phi. So maximum value of phi we got after differentiating the frequency. So that is the frequency when the maximum phase lead is occur. Okay, and this equation we are marking as tan of phi is equal to this equation as equation number 7. After equation number 6, this is equation number 7. So what we get, as we got the value of omega m is equal to 1 by T of root A. So therefore maximum phase lead occur, therefore maximum phase lead occurs at omega m is equal to 1 by T of root A. So at that frequency maximum phase lead occur. Now we are simply putting the value of this omega m in equation number 7. In place of omega. So now put value of omega m in place of omega in इक्वेशन नंबर 7. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे हम लोग ओमेगा एम का जो वैल्यू है वो ओमेगा में पुट कर रहे हैं in equation number 7. So if we are putting the value of omega m, so this is the tan of phi m, that is the maximum value of phase, that is omega of m is equal to 1 upon root of a into t, okay, into t minus a minus 1 for the numerator part, and for denominator part that is 1 plus a into t square, r वहाँ पे था previous one, that is omega square, so 1 upon t square by a into 1 upon t square by a, so 1 upon t square by a, so t square gets cancel, okay, and a also the denominator part will become 2. The value of denominator part is 2. So because this thing get cancelled, this thing also gets cancelled. So value of tan of phi m is equal to this one for upper or numerator part, that is a minus 1, or here also t gets cancelled. So a upon a minus 1 divided by 2 root a. So this equation become a minus 1 divided by 2 of root a. 2 for the denominator part, and a is there, so the final value will look like this. Okay. Now sin of phi of m will become a minus 1 divided by a plus 1. Okay. So this is we are considering as equation number 8. From this we can determine the value of sin of phi m. So sin of phi m is equal to a minus 1 divided by a plus 1, and this is we are considering as equation number 1. Now from equation number 1 we also can calculate the value of a. So from equation number 1, from equation number 8 we can calculate the value of a. We can calculate the value of a, that is equal to 1 plus sin of phi m, 1 plus sin of phi m divided by 1 minus sin of phi m. So we got the value of like this from the simplification of this equation. Okay. So this is the calculation of phase margin and the omega of m, or the corresponding frequency when the maximum phase margin will occur. Now procedure to draw the phase lead compensation, or procedure to find out the phase lead compensator. So 7 steps are there, note down. Procedure to or for phase lead compensate. Okay. So the magnitude and phase versus frequency curve. Step 1, the magnitude and phase curve, phase versus frequency curve. Phase versus frequency curve are plotted in G of S of the uncompensated system, uncompensated system. Okay. with gain constant k, with gain constant k, according to the steady state error requirement, according to the ESS requirement or steady state error requirement. This is the first step. Now second step. So from the Bode plot, determine phase margin and gain margin. Determine phase margin and gain margin. Okay. Let phi is the phase margin of uncompensated system. Okay. Then phi of s is the specified phase margin. Phi of s is the specified phase margin. Specified phase margin, that means we need to reach this value. Okay, for this we are using the compensated or lead compensation technique. Okay, and zeta is equal to phase margin for safety. Okay, so this is the phase margin for safety. That means the accuracy and the stability of the system will not varied by up to this limit. Okay, so then the phase margin will be, then the expression of phase margin of compensating system will be phi of phase, that is the specified phase margin, phi of phase minus phi, that is the phase margin of the uncompensated system, plus that's zeta. Okay, so this is the expression of phase margin when we are going to introduce the compensator or lead compensator to the system. Now if phi of m is greater than 60 degree, then two identical network each contributing maximum lead of maximum lead of phi m by 2 are used. So this is step 2. Now third step. Third step is use equation number 8 to calculate the value of A. Use equation number 8, which you have already seen, equation number 8 to calculate the value of A.